No, the military does this thing that the police force never can do. They don't have the resources. So there's a couple different training cycles, but the most popular one is what's called a red, amber, green training cycle. Have you ever heard of it?
Yep.
Okay, so that's what the military does. So if we'll make it up, if you have 300 military guys, only 100 of them are going to be doing their job at one time. The other 100 are training to go into green cycle, and that's amber cycle. And then the red cycle are your last 100 that are just taking a break and not doing anything as they go into amber cycle. So for the police to mimic what the military does, a department would have to be 3 times
Triple the
larger
size.
because
Yep.
you guys are always in your green cycle.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, you know, or I would say, with your days off, that would be your red cycle. You're always in your green and your red cycle. So there just isn't the manpower and the resources to do what the military does. So I've never said that's where the police, culture needs to go, but somewhere in the middle, but it's got to change. It's got to come back a little bit. And if there is free time or there needs to be forced some what we call some white space, and that white space needs to not be taken up by some woke friendly class to make them more aware of their cultural surroundings. It needs to be put in tactical manners of putting hands on people in a correct way, or situational training, high stress situational training. So the first time they see it isn't on the street going, oh no, I haven't seen this before.
Yeah. I'm a big proponent. I talk about it quite a bit on the podcast when it comes up, but I won't miss an opportunity when I see it. If I were to prioritize any training, the number one, top one for me, 18 years of law enforcement, well, almost 18 years of law enforcement experience, and military, is grappling. Because if you can attest to confidence in training. If I go into a situation and I'm not confident in my abilities, that resonates with the call, with whatever it is I'm doing, with the mission. If I go in there and I'm questioning myself, I'm questioning my leadership, like what do I do? My leadership doesn't quite know, like everything falls apart. But if I go into a situation and I know at the lowest level that I might have to go hands on with this person to effect an arrest,
Right.
and I'm supremely confident in that, just in the way I talk and subconsciously present myself to that person, I'm less likely to get messed with. And when I do, it's less likely to escalate. This is the other part people don't get. I teach you to hand fight so you don't have to gunfight.
Right. Yeah.
And
Well,
and that throws people off.
it's funny you say that. I'm very hesitant to critique law enforcement engagements. Um, that being said, and I'll get back to that here in a second. That being said, I just watched a video of 4 or 5 cops, all good sized cops,
Can't take a guy down. Yeah.
for 45 seconds could not take this guy down, and they
Yep. I think I've seen the same one.
and it's just painful to watch. It's just painful to watch, and the
Yeah.
answer is in front of them the whole time. Like in the military,
Yeah.
we would say, tabletop them. They just
Yeah.
with that many people, 2 people grab his legs, and he
Yeah.
cannot, and he can't fight you. It's a very simple
Yep.
solution, and it's a solution they may already know actually, but sometimes when you get put in a high stress environment, you don't always make the right decisions,
Right.
which is which is why you have to
And
train in a high stress
yes.
environment.
And this is from my own experience. I've grappled since like 06. I love jujitsu. That's why I'm such a proponent of it. But the more cops that are there, the more they fuck it up.
Too much help isn't always the answer.
Yeah, sometimes I'm just like, get off of him. I got this. I'll tell you when to jump in.
Yeah.
Like, because otherwise you're taking everything I'm trying to do, and now you're pulling one way, I'm pulling the other, and we're counteracting each other.
Yeah.
But in the one you had, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, it was a recent one too.
Because I think Tom DeBlas, is that how you say his last name? I can't remember. He's a big jiu-jitsu guy.
Okay.
he always posts stuff like he'll see cops like, "Hey guys, reach out to me if you can make it to my place. I'll train you for free. We'll go over it." Like he always puts that stuff out there, kind of like the Gracies. The Gracies will do Gracie survival tactics training for cops specifically. It's great training. I'm an instructor, used to be an instructor for that too.
I
So.
think that one actually got put out on Police Post. Is where I saw. I'm almost positive that's
Yeah,
that's
probably.
where I saw.
We're probably tearing them apart. Come on, boys.
Yeah. You followed them. What do you think about them? I'm always interested. So I know them and and
Who is it? I'm sorry, I didn't hear the name.
Police Post, Adam, and they do the Be Effective podcast, Be Effective.
No,
training.
I don't think I do.
Okay.
I don't think I do.
Yeah, they do a bunch of AARs on police encounters.
Are they on Facebook?
They're huge on Instagram. I think they have like 500,000 followers on Instagram. I think that's police underscore post or police post underscore. It's one of those.
Let me see if I can find them.
And I'll tell you what I was gonna say before I said I don't talk about police encounters, and then proceeded to talk about that police encounter and judging.